On September 11, 2001, the world's news broadcast reported how two private airliners crashed into the World Trade Center, popularly known as the Twin Towers, located in New York. After the attacks, a group of terrorists led by Osama bin Laden admitted to being the perpetrators of the attack. This event is remembered as the biggest attack of the 21st century, and there are numerous stories and recordings of those who were present that day and survived the events. One of the qualities of the seventh art is the ability to capture on-screen inspiring stories that are born in the darkest moments, and today we will see which are the best, taking into account the script based on real events, the acting level, the fidelity to the attack, the level of production, and the specialized criticism. Reign Over Me. Charlie Feynman, played by Adam Sandler, is a dentist from the Big Apple whose family died in the September 11th attacks. This hard blow shatters all his hopes and turns his life into agony. However, the reunion with an old friend from college makes him regain his hope. The direction and script are the work of Mike Binder, who, with the plot, manages to move after glimpsing the possibility of being happy after facing cruelty in its greatest expression. A film that does not focus specifically on the attacks, but on the consequences and emotional after effects that they left behind. As it is not based on a true story, it is lower in the ranking, but it is a good choice for those who enjoy more drama and emotion in a story of friendship.
Wake up, come on. Can he go out? Is he allowed out?
Don't do that. Don't ask my wife permission for me to go out.
Charlie, Buster!
A lot of girls here, Charlie.
What?
You're single now after what happened with your family and everything.
Whoa, hey, I don't have a family, Johnson.
No, I know you don't.
Who sent you here?
Worth Kenneth Feinberg, a high-powered lawyer in Washington, D.C., who is awarded a special master by the 9/11's Foundation, is dedicated to fighting the cynicism, bureaucracy, and politics surrounding the management of public funds. His battle leads him to discover the true meaning of life. Directed by Sarah Colangelo, it stars Michael Keaton and is produced by Netflix. Since the main story is not centered on the events, it is a bit relegated, but it is a good choice for those who enjoy dialogues loaded with emotional weight.
Sorry to hear that, but we can't bend the rules for every case.
Why not? Congress gives you broad discretion, but when 7,000...
Extremely loud and incredibly close. Oscar Schell, a brilliant 11-year-old boy, is an inventor, jewelry designer, astrophysicist, and pacifist. After the death of his father in the attacks of September 11, 2001, Oscar finds a mysterious envelope with a key and sets out to find the lock that the key can open. Directed by Stephen Daldry, it stars Thomas Horn, Tom Hanks, and Sandra Bullock. When it seemed that it would be a strong candidate for the Oscar with its nomination for Best Film, the specialized critics reacted excessively against it due to some changes it underwent with respect to the novel of the same name. They gave it quite low ratings, the reason being that they appealed to emotion with a low blow. That year, it could not win the statuette since it competed against films such as Midnight in Paris, Moneyball, Warhorse, and the eventual winner, The Artist. Although it is inspired by a true story, the characters and the story are fictional, which is why it is ranked in the middle. But this film can certainly bring a tear to your eye.
Can I tell you something I never told anybody else?
Sure.
He needed me and I couldn't pick it up.
Zero Dark 30. After several years of CIA investigation, which included the torture of prisoners in Afghanistan, and thanks above all to the perseverance and determination of Special Agent Maya, played by Jessica Chastain, and President Obama, who gave the go-ahead for the military operation that ended the life of Osama bin Laden, leader of Al-Qaeda. The title, Zero Dark 30, refers to the time 0:30 in the morning of May 2nd, 2011, when the Marine SEAL Commando penetrated bin Laden's residence in Abbottabad, Pakistan, to hunt down the most wanted man in history. Directed by Catherine Bigelow, and in the cast we find figures such as Chris Pratt, Jason Clarke, and Joel Edgerton. Although the film is not specifically focused on the attacks, but on the consequences of them, it is a very attractive film and worth seeing. It won an Oscar in the category of Best Sound Editing. as well as accumulating 4 other nominations for Best Film, Best Actress, Best Original Screenplay, and Best Editing. Jessica Chastain won a Golden Globe for her performance. For those who like a film with more suspense, drama, and war action, this is undoubtedly your choice.
I want to make something absolutely clear. If you thought there was some working group coming to the rescue, well, I want you to know that you're wrong. This is it. There's nobody else hidden away on some other floor. There is just us. And we are failing.
United 93. On that fateful day in September 2001, 4 planes were hijacked. 3 reached their target, but the 4th did not. This film tells the tragedy through a meticulous recreation of the events surrounding United Airlines Flight 93 in the hope of having a broader view of the events. The production and filming of the film was carried out with the support of the families of the passengers who were traveling on board the plane, and tells in real time the dramatic story of what happened in the air and on the ground. While the passengers, the crew, the air traffic controllers, and the military centers tried to understand and solve an unimaginable crisis. Directed by Paul Greengrass and starring Christian Clemenson and Cheyenne Jackson. Without a doubt, one of the rawest and most faithful feature films to the events, where you can really convey that desperation. Highly recommended.
We got a possible hijack in progress.
Looks nice out there.
World Trade Center, when 2 passenger planes crash into the Twin Towers. 2 police officers, Sergeant John McLaughlin and Will Jimeno, will try to help the people affected by the tragedy. Directed by Oliver Stone and starring Nicolas Cage and Michael Pena. It undoubtedly contains one of the most immersive film beginnings of all. The level of production, the testimonies taken from real police officers, make up a true work of heroism. Reaching the middle of the film, it becomes more of a rescue story, and how difficult the wait was for the families who had hopes of seeing them again. In addition, it is the highest grossing of all, with a budget of $60 million. It managed to raise more than 160. Although it is not a film but a documentary, it is worth mentioning Fahrenheit 911 by Michael Moore, the 3rd highest grossing documentary in the history of cinema. This documentary describes the relationships between George W. Bush's father and Osama bin Laden's family prior to the attack, and explores the post-9/11 era, and how the US government apparently used the attack for its political benefit.
Staff entered the classroom and told Mr. Bush, "The nation is under attack." Nearly 7 minutes passed with nobody doing anything.
Another documentary worth mentioning is 102 Minutes That Changed America. Literally raw footage from journalists, fans, and witnesses who were present and are arranged in real time. It is believed that most of these images from the documentary were in the possession of the US government, but were released years later, ready to be broadcast and marketed by history.
Tunnels are next, bridges are next, you know.
Yes, he hit and building.
And they were hijacked?
Apparently, well, that's what the neighbors were just saying, that apparently they were hijacked.
A mention for an independent 11-minute short film with 11 stories from 11 different directors. Among them is the renowned Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu, responsible for works such as Revenant and Birdman. Simply called September 11th. The low production cost does not provide the best quality, but it does provide real stories of minorities with less prominence. Here is the tier list of movies about the attack on the Twin Towers on September 11th. If you are someone who is especially interested in the technical part of this event, there is a documentary that details the theory of explosives at the base of the towers. since the impact of the planes alone would not be enough to collapse such a structure. The documentary can be found on YouTube under the name First Response: 9/11's One Day in America, produced by National Geographic. To see other tier lists, you can visit the channel. And if you like this kind of summaries and recommendations, you can leave me your like and subscription to support more videos like this. Until next time.